The discovery. The vast expanse of space had always called to humanity, whispering promises of adventure and discovery. It was this call that led Dr. Elena Reeves and her team to the edges of known space, to a small, unremarkable planet orbiting a dim red dwarf star. What they found there would change the course of galactic history forever. Elena stood at the viewport of the research station, her dark eyes reflecting the reddish light of the alien sun. Behind her, screens flickered with data streams, each one telling a part of the incredible story they had uncovered. Dr. Reeves called out her assistant, Alex Chen, excitement evident in his voice. The latest scans are in. You need to see this. She turned, moving swiftly to the main console where Alex stood, his fingers flying over the holographic interface. As the data coalesced into a 3D model, Elena's breath caught in her throat. What they were seeing defied conventional understanding of physics and energy. It's beautiful, she whispered, reaching up to touch the hologram. The model showed a pulsing core of energy, unlike anything they had ever encountered. It seemed to draw power from the very fabric of space-time itself, creating a self-sustaining reaction that promised near-limitless energy. If we can harness this, Alex said, his voice filled with awe, it could power entire civilizations for millennia. No more resource wars, no more energy crises. This could change everything. Elena nodded, her mind racing with the possibilities. We need to inform Earth immediately. But she paused, a frown creasing her brow. We need to be careful about how we present this. The implications are staggering. As they prepared their report, neither Elena nor her team could have known that their discovery had already drawn attention from beyond Earth. In the grand chambers of the Galactic Council, alarms were already sounding. The Galactic Council, a coalition of the most advanced species in the known universe, had long viewed humanity as a curiosity at best, a potential threat at worst. Humans were resourceful, adaptable, and possessed an almost reckless drive to explore and expand. The Council had carefully managed humanity's growth, allowing them access to some technologies while keeping the most advanced secrets hidden. Now, as news of the human discovery spread through encrypted channels, the Council convened an emergency session. Representatives from a dozen species gathered in the vast, crystal-domed chamber, their forms as varied as the stars themselves. High Counselor Zixara, a being of pure energy contained within a humanoid exosuit, called the session to order. Esteemed colleagues, their voice resonated through the chamber. We face a crisis unprecedented in our long history. The humans have discovered an energy source that could upset the balance we have so carefully maintained. Murmurs of concern rippled through the assembly. Counselor Vex of the Arthan, an insectoid race known for their strategic brilliance, stepped forward. We have underestimated them. This discovery, if they learn to harness it, they could challenge even our most advanced technologies. We cannot allow this, declared Morokai, the serpentine representative of the Shorans. Humans are too unpredictable, too prone to conflict. With this power, they could become a threat to galactic stability. The debate raged for hours, each faction arguing for different approaches. Some advocated for immediate military action, to seize the discovery by force. Others suggested more subtle manipulation, to guide the humans away from fully realizing the potential of their find. In the end, it was High Counselor Zixara who proposed the path forward. We will act covertly. We cannot risk open conflict, not when the humans might have already begun to harness this energy. We will destabilize their efforts, create chaos in their colonies, and force them to turn to us for aid. In their vulnerability, we will secure this discovery for ourselves. The plan was approved, and the Council moved swiftly to put it into action. Across the galaxy, shadowy operatives received their orders. The stage was set for a conflict that would reshape the balance of power in ways no one could have predicted. Back on Earth, Elena Reeves stood before the United Earth Council, the governing body that represented humanity's unified presence in the galaxy. The chamber was packed, with representatives from every nation, and off-world colony in attendance. Distinguished counselors, Elena began, her voice steady despite the weight of her words. What we have discovered is nothing short of revolutionary. An energy source that could propel humanity to heights we've only dreamed of. But with this discovery comes great responsibility, and I fear, great danger. As Elena detailed the findings, a mix of excitement and apprehension filled the chamber. Questions flew fast and furious. How soon could it be harnessed? What were the potential applications? And perhaps most importantly, how would this affect humanity's place in the galactic community? Admiral Jenna Harper, head of Earth's Defense Forces, voiced the concern that hung unspoken in the air. Dr. Reeves, have you considered the military implications of this discovery? In the wrong hands, this energy source could become the most devastating weapon the galaxy has ever seen. Elena nodded gravely. We have, Admiral. That's why we're recommending the utmost secrecy as we continue our research. The potential for misuse is significant. As the Council debated their next steps, none could have imagined the storm that was brewing. In hidden bases and secret laboratories across human space, scientists and engineers began working feverishly to unlock the secrets of the new energy source. But they were not working alone. Unbeknownst to the humans, agents of the Galactic Council had already infiltrated key positions. They watched, they waited, and they prepared to strike at the heart of humanity's newfound hope. The discovery it could have ushered in an era of unprecedented prosperity for humanity was about to become the catalyst for a conflict that would shake the very foundations of the galaxy. As the humans raced to harness the power they had found, the countdown to betrayal had already begun. In the depths of space, on the small, unassuming planet where it all began, the strange energy pulsed and swirled, oblivious to the machinations of those who sought to control it. It was a power born from the very essence of the universe, and its awakening would set in motion events that would test the limits of human resilience, ingenuity, and determination. The stage was set. The players were moving into position, and in the vast, star-studded theater of the galaxy, a drama was about to unfold that would determine the fate of not just humanity, but of all sentient life in the cosmos. As the first part of our tale draws to a close, the sense of impending conflict hangs heavy in the air. The humans, filled with hope and ambition, stand on the brink of a new era, but lurking in the shadows, the Galactic Council prepares to make its move. The battle for the future of the galaxy is about to begin, and at its heart lies a warning that will echo across the stars. Run. The betrayal. The first signs of trouble came subtly, like ripples in a calm pond. On the outer edges of human space, supply ships began to disappear. At first, it was dismissed as piracy or navigational errors. But as the frequency of these incidents increased, a pattern began to emerge. Captain Lyra Jong of the UES Horizon frowned as she studied the latest reports. Her ship, a state-of-the-art patrol vessel, had been tasked with investigating the disappearances. Something's not right, she muttered, her dark eyes scanning the data. These attacks, they're too precise, too coordinated. Her second-in-command, Lieutenant Kai Okoro, nodded in agreement. It's like they know exactly where to hit us, Captain. Our most vulnerable supply lines, our least defended outposts. It's as if they have inside information. Lyra finished, her voice grim. Compile all the data we have. We need to report this to command immediately. But even as Lyra and her crew worked to uncover the truth, the attacks escalated. On the colony world of New Eden, alarms blared as unknown ships appeared in the sky. Governor Amelia Cortez watched in horror from the command center as the first explosions lit up the night. Where did they come from? She demanded, her voice sharp with fear and anger. Why didn't our early warning systems detect them? The defense officer, his face pale, could only shake his head. They just appeared, Governor. One moment our scans showed clear space, and the next. Amelia's eyes narrowed. This was no random attack. This was a coordinated strike, using technology far beyond what any known pirate or rebel group possessed. As she barked orders for evacuation and defense, a chilling thought crossed her mind. What if this was not the work of criminals, but of someone far more powerful? Across human space, similar scenes played out. Colonies were attacked, research stations destroyed, and supply lines severed. Humanity, which had been riding high on the promise of their new discovery, suddenly found itself under siege from an unknown enemy. In the chambers of the United Earth Council, emergency sessions stretched for days as reports flooded in from across the galaxy. Admiral Harper, her face lined with exhaustion, addressed the grim-faced assembly. "We are under attack," she stated bluntly. "Not just random strikes, but a coordinated effort to cripple our infrastructure and halt our research into the new energy source. Whoever is behind this has resources and technology that rival or exceed our own." Elena Reeves, called in to consult, felt a weight settle in her chest. "They're targeting our research facilities," she said, her voice barely above a whisper. "They're trying to stop us from harnessing the energy we discovered." As the council debated their response, arguments broke out. Some called for an all-out mobilization to strike back at whoever was attacking them. Others urged caution, fearing that escalation could lead to even greater losses. In the midst of the chaos, a junior intelligence officer named Maya Patil made a discovery that would change everything. Working tirelessly through intercepted communications and sensor logs, she uncovered a pattern that had eluded others. "Sir," she said, her voice shaking as she addressed her superior, "I think I know who's behind the attacks. But you're not going to believe it." The evidence Maya had uncovered was damning. Hidden beneath layers of encryption and misdirection were signs that pointed to an unthinkable truth. The attacks were being orchestrated by none other than the Galactic Council itself. As the truth came to light, shock and anger rippled through human space. The very organization that was supposed to maintain peace and stability in the galaxy had betrayed them, launching a covert war to keep humanity from advancing. In a secure bunker deep beneath the surface of Earth, humanity's leaders gathered to plan their response. The mood was somber, the weight of betrayal heavy in the air. "We trusted them," Elena said, her voice bitter. "We shared our discoveries, our hopes. And this is how they repay us." Admiral Harper's face was set in grim lines. "They fear us," she said. "They fear what we might become with this new power. And fear makes even the most advanced civilizations act irrationally." As they debated their next move, reports continued to pour in. More colonies attacked, more ships lost. But something else was happening too. In the face of this betrayal, humanity was rallying. Old rivalries were set aside as Earth and its colonies united against the common threat. In hidden laboratories, scientists worked feverishly to unlock the secrets of the new energy source. On the front lines, soldiers and civilians alike fought with desperate courage to defend their homes. And in the depths of space, ships like the UES Horizon patrolled tirelessly, seeking to uncover the truth and protect their people. Captain Lyra Zhang stood on the bridge of her ship, watching as her crew worked with grim determination. They had just rescued the survivors of another attacked outpost, and the stories they told only fueled the crew's resolve. "They thought they could break us," Lyra said softly, her eyes fixed on the stars beyond the view screen. "They thought we would crumble in the face of their betrayal. But they don't understand humanity. We don't break. We adapt. We overcome." As if in response to her words, alarms suddenly blared across the ship. "Captain," Lieutenant Okoro called out, "we're picking up a massive energy surge. It's like nothing we've ever seen before." Lyra's eyes widened as she saw the readings. Somehow, somewhere, someone had managed to harness the power of the new energy source, and they were about to use it. As the horizon raced towards the source of the energy signature, Lyra couldn't help but feel a mix of fear and exhilaration. Whatever was happening, it was clear that the conflict was about to enter a new phase. Humanity had been betrayed, yes, but they were far from defeated. In labs and war rooms across human space, a single word began to circulate, a word that would soon be broadcast across the galaxy, striking fear into the hearts of those who had sought to keep humanity down. A warning, a challenge, and a promise all in one. Run. The betrayal had been devastating, but it had also awakened something in humanity. A determination, a unity of purpose that their enemies had not anticipated. As the energy surge grew stronger, signaling the dawn of a new era, one thing became clear. The Galactic Council's plan had backfired spectacularly. In trying to suppress humanity, they had instead catalyzed their ascension. The stage was set for a confrontation that would reshape the galaxy. Humanity, armed with their newfound power and driven by the righteous anger of the betrayed, was ready to show the cosmos why they should never have been underestimated. As Part 2 draws to a close, the sense of impending reckoning fills the air. The betrayal has been unveiled, and humanity stands united in the face of overwhelming odds. But with the power of their discovery finally harnessed, the tide is about to turn. The warning has been given, and now, it's time for humanity to show the galaxy exactly what they're capable of. The warning. In the heart of Earth's most secure facility, deep beneath the surface of the Mariana Trench, a group of humanity's brightest minds gathered around a pulsing orb of energy. The room hummed with barely contained power, the air thick with ozone and possibility. Dr. Elena Reeves stood at the forefront, her eyes reflecting the swirling patterns of the energy core. Beside her, Admiral Jenna Harper watched with a mix of awe and trepidation. "Is it ready?" the Admiral asked, her voice hushed. Elena nodded slowly. "As ready as it'll ever be. We've harnessed enough power to send a message that no one in the galaxy will be able to ignore." She turned to face the assembled team, her expression grave. "What we do next will change everything. Are we sure this is the path we want to take?" The room fell silent, the weight of the decision hanging heavy in the air. It was Maya Patel, the young intelligence officer who had uncovered the Council's betrayal, who spoke up. "They didn't give us a choice," she said, her voice firm. "They attacked us, tried to destroy everything we've worked for. We have to show them that we won't be pushed around anymore." Admiral Harper nodded, her jaw set. "Maya's right. We've been playing by their rules for too long. It's time to change the game." She turned to the communications officer. "Prepare the broadcast. The warning. In the heart of Earth's most secure facility, deep beneath the surface of the Mariana Trench, a group of humanity's brightest minds gathered around a pulsing orb of energy. The room hummed with barely contained power, the air thick with ozone and possibility. Dr. Elena Reeves stood at the forefront, her eyes reflecting the swirling patterns of the energy core. Beside her, Admiral Jenna Harper watched with a mix of awe and trepidation. "Is it ready?" the Admiral asked, her voice hushed. Elena nodded slowly. "As ready as it'll ever be. We've harnessed enough power to send a message that no one in the galaxy will be able to ignore." She turned to face the assembled team, her expression grave. "What we do next will change everything. Are we sure this is the path we want to take?" The room fell silent, the weight of the decision hanging heavy in the air. It was Maya Patel, the young intelligence officer who had uncovered the Council's betrayal, who spoke up. "They didn't give us a choice," she said, her voice firm. "They attacked us, tried to destroy everything we've worked for. We have to show them that we won't be pushed around anymore." Admiral Harper nodded, her jaw set. "Maya's right. We've been playing by their rules for too long. It's time to change the game." She turned to the communications officer. "Prepare the broadcast. We'll send our message to every corner of the galaxy." As the team worked to calibrate the massive transmitter, powered by the new energy source, tension filled the air. What they were about to do would irrevocably change humanity's place in the galactic community. There would be no going back. Elena stepped up to the central console, her fingers hovering over the activation sequence. She looked to Admiral Harper, who gave a solemn nod. With a deep breath, Elena pressed the final key. The room erupted with energy. The core pulsed with blinding intensity, and for a moment, It seemed as if reality itself warped around them. Then, with a sound like thunder, the message was sent. Across the galaxy, on every planet, every ship, and every space station, communication systems suddenly crackled to life. Screens flickered, and a single word appeared, broadcast in every known language. Run. In the chambers of the Galactic Council, chaos erupted. High Counselor Zix Era watched in disbelief as the message played on repeat, its simplicity belying the immense power behind it. Impossible, muttered Counselor Vex, his mandibles clicking in agitation. The energy required to broadcast across such distances, it shouldn't be possible. Morokai, the Soren representative, hissed in frustration. We underestimated them. This changes everything. As the counselors argued and panicked, Zix Era stood silent, their energy form flickering with concern. They had pushed humanity too far, and now, the consequences of their actions were about to unfold. Back on Earth, humanity held its collective breath. In homes, in shelters, and on ships across human space, people gathered around screens, waiting to see how the galaxy would respond to their defiance. On the bridge of the UES Horizon, Captain Lyra Zhang and her crew watched the stars, half expecting them to go dark as the Council retaliated. But as minutes turned to hours, a different reality set in. Captain, Lieutenant Okoro called out, his voice filled with disbelief. We're picking up massive energy signatures, hundreds of them, all across Council space. They're running. Lyra's eyes widened as she processed the information. They're evacuating, she whispered. They actually believe we have the power to destroy them all. As news spread, a mix of elation and apprehension swept through human ranks. They had succeeded in sending a message, in making the Council fear them. But what would be the cost of this deception? How long could they maintain the illusion of overwhelming power? In the secure bunker, Elena, Admiral Harper, and the others watched the unfolding events with a mix of pride and concern. It worked, Maya said, her voice filled with awe. They're actually running. Admiral Harper's expression remained grim. This is just the beginning. We've bought ourselves some time, but the Council won't stay scared forever. We need to use this opportunity to prepare for what comes next. Elena nodded, her mind already racing with possibilities. We need to push our research further, faster. If we can truly harness this energy, make good on the threat we've implied, we might have a chance at true independence. As the hours ticked by, humanity's leaders convened in emergency sessions. Strategies were debated, plans were made, and a new sense of unity emerged. In the face of betrayal and adversity, humanity had found its collective strength. Across human space, a transformation began. Research facilities that had been hidden were now brought into the open. Their work accelerated. Defense platforms were upgraded, incorporating the new energy technology. And in shipyards across the solar system, a new fleet began to take shape, one that would be capable of defending human interests across the galaxy. But even as humanity prepared for the inevitable confrontation, voices of caution emerged. Not everyone was comfortable with the path they had chosen. In a private meeting with Admiral Harper, Captain Lyra Zhang voiced her concerns. We've made ourselves a target, Lyra said, her voice low. Yes, we've scared them for now, but what happens when they realize we don't have the power we've claimed? We're gambling with the lives of every human in the galaxy. Admiral Harper sighed, the weight of command heavy on her shoulders. I understand your concerns, Lyra, but we're past the point of no return. Our only choice now is to make good on our threat, to become the power we've claimed to be. As they spoke on the fringes of human space, the first signs of the Council's response began to appear. Probe ships, cloaked and nearly undetectable, slipped past the outer defenses. The Council, despite its fear, was not willing to simply cede its power. They needed to know the truth about humanity's capabilities. In hidden bases across Council space, war plans were drawn up. If humanity truly possessed the power they claimed, they would need to be dealt with swiftly and decisively. And if they were bluffing, well, the punishment for such deception would be severe. The galaxy held its breath, poised on the knife edge of conflict. Humanity had sent its warning, had shown that it would not be bullied or controlled. But in doing so, they had set in motion events that would reshape the very fabric of galactic society. As the first part of their plan came to fruition, Alina Reeves stood in her lab, watching as the new energy core pulsed with potential. They had made their move, had changed the game in ways no one could have predicted. Now they had to be ready for whatever came next. The warning had been sent. The galaxy was in chaos, and humanity, for better or worse, was at the center of it all. As the stars continued their eternal dance, the stage was set for a confrontation that would determine the fate of not just humanity, but of all sentient life in the cosmos. The message was clear: run. But as both humanity and the Council prepared for what was to come, a new question emerged. Who, in the end, would be running from whom? The reckoning. The tense calm that followed humanity's warning to the galaxy was shattered in an instant. Alarms blared across human space as the long-range sensors picked up a massive energy surge. The Galactic Council had made its decision. On the bridge of the UES horizon, Captain Lyra Zhang's face was grim as she addressed her crew. "This is it, people. The Council's calling our bluff. All hands to battle stations." As the Horizon and the rest of the human fleet moved to intercept the incoming Council armada, back on Earth, frantic activity filled the war room. Admiral Jenna Harper stood at the center, barking orders as holographic displays showed the unfolding situation. "They're hitting us with everything they've got," she muttered, her eyes scanning the tactical readouts. "Time to see if our gambit pays off." Dr. Alina Reeves burst into the room, her lab coat askew, and her eyes wild with excitement. "Admiral, we've done it. The prototype is ready." Harper's eyes widened. "You mean?" Alina nodded, a mix of pride and trepidation in her voice. "We've successfully weaponized the new energy source. It's untested in actual combat, but in simulations, it's beyond anything we've ever seen." The Admiral's face set in grim determination. "Deploy it immediately, and pray it works as well in reality as it does in your simulations." As the human fleet engaged the Council forces, the battle that unfolded was unlike anything the galaxy had ever witnessed. Council ships, armed with technology refined over millennia, unleashed barrages of energy weapons and gravity distortion fields. But the human ships, fewer in number but powered by the new energy source, proved surprisingly resilient. Aboard the Horizon, Lyra and her crew fought with everything they had. "Evasive maneuvers," she shouted as another volley of Council fire streaked past. "Return fire with the prototype weapons." Lieutenant Okoro's fingers danced over the weapons console, prototype armed and firing. A beam of pure, concentrated energy lanced out from the horizon, cutting through the void of space. When it struck the lead Council ship, the effect was immediate and catastrophic. The energy seemed to ignite the very fabric of space-time around the vessel, causing it to implode in a spectacular display of light and power. Silence fell over the Horizon's bridge, broken only by the soft beeping of consoles. Did we just do that?" Okoro whispered, his voice filled with awe and a hint of fear. Lyra nodded slowly, her mind racing with the implications. "Send word to the fleet. Use the prototypes, but with extreme caution. We're not here to annihilate them, just to show them we're not to be trifled with." As news of the weapon's effectiveness spread, the tide of battle began to turn. Council ships, faced with a power they couldn't comprehend, began to retreat, but not all of them. High Counselor Zixera, aboard the Council's flagship, watched the battle unfold with a mix of fear and fascination. So, the humans weren't bluffing after all. They'd mused, their energy form flickering with agitation. Counselor Vex, mandibles clicking furiously, turned to Zixera. We must retreat. We cannot stand against such power. But Zixera held up a hand, their voice calm despite the chaos around them. No, we've come too far to run now. It's time we faced the consequences of our actions. With that, they opened a channel to the human fleet. On the horizon, Lyra was surprised to see the communication request. This is Captain Lyra Jung of the UES Horizon. To whom am I speaking? The holographic image of Zixera flickered into view. Captain Jung, I am High Counselor Zixera of the Galactic Council. We request a ceasefire. It seems we have much to discuss. As the battle came to a sudden halt, tensions remained high. Trust had been shattered, and the galaxy stood on the brink of a new era. In the war room on Earth, Admiral Harper and Dr. Reeves listened in on the communication. They'd want to talk, Harper said, her voice laced with suspicion. After everything they've done, now they want to talk. Elena nodded, her expression thoughtful. This might be our best chance to reshape the galactic order, to ensure humanity's place among the stars. As negotiations began, it became clear that the balance of power had shifted dramatically. The Council, once the unquestioned authority in the galaxy, now found itself on the back foot. Humanity, armed with technology that defied conventional understanding, had proven itself a force to be reckoned with. In the days that followed, delegations from Earth and the Council met on neutral ground, a space station orbiting a gas giant on the fringes of contested space. The discussions were tense, filled with recriminations, and barely veiled threats. Lyra, chosen to represent the human military in the talks, found herself face to face with Zixera. Why? She asked, her voice tight with emotion. Why did you betray us? We were no threat to you. Zixera's energy form dimmed slightly, a sign of what might have been remorse. Fear, Captain Jung. Fear of the unknown, of change. We've maintained the status quo for so long, we forgot what it was like to face true innovation. As the negotiations progressed, it became clear that the galaxy would never be the same. The Council's monopoly on advanced technology was broken, and humanity had earned its place as a major power in galactic affairs. But with this new status came new responsibilities and challenges. As the human delegation prepared to return to Earth, Elena found herself lost in thought. They had won, had secured their place among the stars. But at what cost? And what would they do with the power they now wielded? The prototype weapons, so devastating in battle, posed both promise and peril. In the wrong hands, they could bring destruction on an unimaginable scale. But properly harnessed, they could usher in an era of exploration and discovery beyond anything humanity had ever dreamed. As the UES Horizon prepared to depart the negotiation station, Lyra stood at the viewport, watching the stars. Lieutenant Okoro approached, his expression uncertain. Captain, what happens now? Lyra turned to him, a small smile on her face despite the weight of recent events. Now, Kai. Now we do what humanity has always done. We explore, we learn, and we try to be better than we were yesterday. As the horizon jumped to faster than light speed, heading back to Earth, the galaxy held its breath. The old order had been shattered, and a new age was dawning. Humanity had faced betrayal, had stared into the abyss of extinction, and had emerged stronger than ever. The warning they had sent, that single powerful word, run, had changed everything. But as Lyra watched the stars streak by, she couldn't help but wonder. In their quest for security and respect, had they become the very thing they had once feared? As Part 4 draws to a close, the immediate conflict has been resolved, but the true challenges lie ahead. Humanity has claimed its place among the stars, but with great power comes great responsibility. The galaxy watches and waits, wondering what this young, ambitious species will do next. The new order. The galaxy held its breath as the dust settled from humanity's confrontation with the Galactic Council. In the months that followed, a new order began to take shape, one that would redefine the relationships between species and challenge long-held assumptions about power and governance. On Earth, the United Earth Council convened in an extraordinary session. The chamber buzzed with excitement and apprehension as representatives from every human colony and settlement gathered to chart their species' new course. Admiral Jenna Harper stood at the podium, her uniform crisp, her expression solemn. "We stand at a crossroads," she began, her voice carrying across the hushed room. "We have claimed our place among the stars, but now we must decide what to do with the power we've gained." Dr. Elena Reeves, seated in the front row, listened intently. The past months had been a whirlwind of negotiations, technological advancements, and ethical debates. The energy source they had discovered, now dubbed Novum Energy, had proven to be even more versatile and powerful than they had initially believed. As the debate raged on, it became clear that humanity was divided on how to proceed. Some advocated for a more assertive stance, arguing that they should use their newfound power to reshape the galaxy in their image. Others called for caution, warning against the dangers of becoming the very thing they had fought against. In the end, it was Captain Lyra Jong who proposed a middle path. Standing before the council, her voice steady and clear, she outlined a vision for humanity's future. "We have the power to destroy," she said, her eyes scanning the assembled leaders. "But we also have the power to create, to explore, to push the boundaries of what's possible. Let us not be defined by our ability to instill fear, but by our capacity to inspire wonder." Her words resonated with many, and after days of intense discussion, a new directive was formed. Humanity would not seek to dominate the galaxy, but neither would they shrink from their newfound responsibilities. They would use their advanced technology to push the boundaries of exploration, to solve long-standing problems, and to bridge the gaps between species. As news of humanity's decision spread across the galaxy, reactions were mixed. Some species viewed the humans with suspicion, fearing that their idealistic words masked more ambitious intentions. Others saw an opportunity for genuine change and progress. On the rebuilt Galactic Council Station, now expanded to include representatives from previously marginalized species, High Counselor Zix Era watched as a human delegation took their seats for the first time. "A new era begins," Zix Era mused, their energy form shimmering with a mix of emotions. "Let us hope it is one of wisdom and cooperation, rather than fear and domination." Counselor Vex, who had survived the conflict and now served as a voice of caution in the new order, clicked his mandibles thoughtfully. "The humans have shown both great power and great restraint. We would do well to learn from them, even as we remain vigilant." As the new Galactic Charter was drafted, enshrining principles of mutual respect, scientific cooperation, and shared defense, the impact of humanity's rise began to be felt across the cosmos. On distant worlds, long-running conflicts began to cool as the threat of human intervention loomed. Species that had been overlooked or oppressed under the old regime found new voices and new opportunities, and in the vast, unexplored regions of the galaxy, joint expeditions of humans and alien species set out to uncover the universe's deepest secrets. Aboard the UES Horizon, now the flagship of a new exploratory fleet, Captain Lyra Jong stood on the bridge, gazing out at the stars. Beside her, Lieutenant Kai Okoro worked at his console, coordinating with their alien counterparts. "New reading coming in from the Arcturian Deep Space Array," Okoro reported, excitement creeping into his voice. "They've detected an anomaly that matches the Novum Energy signature. It's like nothing we've ever seen before." Lyra smiled, feeling a familiar thrill of discovery. "Plot a course, Lieutenant. Let's see what's out there." As the horizon prepared to jump to faster than light speed, Lyra couldn't help but reflect on how far they had come. The betrayal that had nearly destroyed them had instead catalyzed humanity's greatest leap forward. They had faced extinction and emerged stronger, wiser, and more united than ever before. Back on Earth, in her lab deep beneath the Mariana Trench, Elena Reeves worked tirelessly to unlock more secrets of the Novum Energy. Each discovery brought new possibilities, new challenges, and new ethical quandaries. But as she looked at the pulsing core of energy before her, she felt a sense of hope that transcended the fears and doubts of the past. "We've only just begun to understand what we've discovered," she murmured to herself, making notes as new data streamed across her screens. "The universe is vast, and we're finally ready to truly explore it." In the halls of power, in laboratories, and on starships venturing into the unknown, humanity pushed forward. They had warned the galaxy to run, had demonstrated power beyond imagination. But in the end, they had chosen a path of cooperation and discovery. The new order was not perfect. Tensions remained, old wounds healed slowly, and the temptation to abuse their power was a constant challenge. But with each passing day, as new alliances were forged and new wonders uncovered, the galaxy moved closer to a future of unity and shared purpose. As the UES horizon disappeared into the swirling vortex of faster-than-light travel, bound for the mysterious energy signature, the message that had once been a warning now carried a different meaning. Run, they had told the galaxy. And now, humanity ran not away from threats or towards conflict, but towards the endless possibilities that awaited them among the stars. The betrayal that had nearly broken them had instead forged them into something greater. Humanity had claimed its place in the cosmos, not through fear or domination, but through resilience, ingenuity, and an unwavering spirit of exploration. As new horizons beckoned and old barriers crumbled, one thing became clear. The greatest adventure in human history had only just begun. The galaxy watched, waited, and wondered what this young, ambitious species would discover next. In the vast tapestry of the cosmos, humanity's thread now shone brightly, intertwined with countless others in a pattern of infinite complexity and beauty. The story of their rise from betrayal to triumph would be told for generations to come, a testament to the indomitable spirit that had carried them from their first tentative steps on Earth to the farthest reaches of the galaxy. And so, as ships of every shape and size, crewed by beings of countless forms, ventured forth into the unknown, a new chapter in the history of the galaxy began. It was a chapter of hope, of discovery, and of the boundless potential that lay within every sentient being. The warning had been given, the reckoning had come, and now, at last, a new order had emerged. And in that new order, humanity stood not as conquerors, but as explorers, not as oppressors, but as partners in the greatest journey of all, the exploration of the infinite cosmos that surrounded them. As the stars wheeled overhead and new worlds came into view, the promise of the future stretched out before them, as vast and limitless as space itself.